Good morning, this bandwidth dude on Lake. Hey, here's a quick, I found this while I was cleaning up. This is a puppet skull, and you can see the eyelets in the thing where it used to hang and whatnot. I don't know what happened to the rest of the puppet, and it looks like maybe the dog or someone has chewed off part of his cheekbones in his eye. But as I find these things in boxes or garbage bins around the place, I may come back and visit these. Was never really that interested in skulls, but this one was kind of fun. And he was a puppet. So here's back to what we were doing. There is the lady gnome. That's kind of where she's going to get left at the end of this video, plus a little bit of hair. So stick around, see how that hair is done in there. And here I'm laying out the arms. Initially I had the arm going back, and then I looked at it and thought, well, maybe it needs to go forward. There's a lot of material in the front or in the middle of that from the neck down that's going to get removed, and then you're going to see that I'm taking and bending her a little bit forward, like she's kind of curtsying to some degree, and you'll see that in this video, and a lot of the how I get to where we're going. So this is here's a sound just for you, Jordy. And nobody else knows what that means. Let's go back and watch Jordy's videos, which I highly recommend that you do. So there, I've taken a lot of that material away, not leaving a whole lot of room for feet, but I wanted her to kind of be bent forward in a curtsy there. I have not done a lot of work on the face. The face is just laid out, and the bosom and that I've kind of started trying to figure out where I want to go with that. So if you're familiar with German stuff, we spent many years in Germany, so we have a big German influence in my brain. So this is a dirndl, which comes about in Bavaria, particularly during Oktoberfest. If you look those up, you'll see what's going on. So I laid out like leather straps that come down, and then there's going to be a little bit of color up around the straps, and then she will have an apron, and there's some neat stuff. If you don't want to watch the whole video, head to the end. You'll see I'm gonna add or set up for doing some Swarovski crystals. I can't say it. They're made down in Austria, and if you ever get over to Europe, it's a great tourist stop. You can go down and see all these spectacular crystals that they make. We did that trip a couple times. Each time relatives come over, if you live overseas in Europe, then you've got to take them to all the standard tourist traps, and it becomes kind of fun. So right here I'm undercutting the dress. Like I said, laid over the dress, which you'll see a little bit later, will be a white lace apron with some fringes on it. And a lot of that stuff I'm going to do when I get to painting. So it doesn't necessarily need carved in. And we're going to work quite a bit on the bosom there later on. Of note, the channel Studio on the Lake did get monetized 2 days ago. The first day made a whopping 29 cents, and part of the first day, and then the next day it made 69 cents. So woohoo, I'm rich, and life is good. But if you can't stand the commercials in there, I apologize, but that will throw a little bit of money towards the channel. I'm not doing this for the money, but it is nice. It might offset some of the cost of all the garbage that goes into this, carving the bits and whatnot. So we're laying out again. That's a collar. You can't see exactly what I'm doing, and there's not a whole lot of room for this. I'm working in kind of a compact area here and still trying to show various different details. Of course, I could stand this thing up a little bit more and you could see all that, but then you lose a lot of the character that's coming out. And thus far, I'm really quite impressed with this this carving. It is in basswood. For those of you, several people that other carvers particularly are clamoring to see where my hoard of basswood is. Jordy's making fun of the little pieces, putting them in a box on some of the basswood I sent him. And by the way, Jordy, your package has made it into Canada. For some reason, it went from Chicago to Montreal, which is kind of the wrong direction if you think about it. And I noticed this morning when I checked the tracking on it, it's trekking across Canada. So hopefully that'll get there one of these days. Right here, you'll notice, and I saw this, I didn't see this right at this point here. I'm laying out the leather bands that go across the top of this dirndl, and in the center there is going to be a heart. And I right there, I drew in a circle just to see if maybe I wanted to do a medallion, and I don't. I went back with a heart when I got to this point. Now here's a part that you're going to see a little bit later on. This is where I screw up. And this is what happens, and I'll show you how I fixed it. So I ran this thing all the way down, and the minute that I went over that left to right harness portion that has the buttons on the front there that kind of look like nipples, but they're not. They're buttons. They just happen to be in the appropriate place. I went straight down, and I should have left that left to right there. That's not how I wanted that thing to go together. So I'll show you how I fixed that later on. I did it on the outside one there. You notice that I got smart. That piece that I just cut in right there with the vertical cut should not be there, because that's one strap that goes left to right, and it actually sits on top of the other strap. And I'll show you how you can fix that imperfections in some of your carvings. Now, granted, this little fix I'll show you here shortly only works if you're going to paint it. They say this wood putty, whatever the heck it is, the JB Weld repair that I'm going to show you. They say it blends in, it sands, it carves, it does all kinds of magical things. To some degree, that is a true statement. It does not stain, it does not paint a lot. Well, it paints, but it won't stain like the rest of the wood. You can get it to do that if you play around with tints, but that's a lot of work. So here I've got a diamond ball. I've mentioned before I like using a diamond ball for the simple reason that I can go in any general direction. If I'm using a taper or a flame, it gives me kind of a straight line, and you can't get around. So I'm shaping parts and pieces there and trying to get the layout. There she is, leaning forward, and I am liking it. I had to go that extreme to get it to do. So here's what I'm talking about. Those are the two pieces up and down, those lines that I went ahead and cut in with a wood burner, and that's quick wood. That's what I was trying to think of. It's a two-part putty, epoxy, a wood filler, you name it. So I'm just gonna smear this across, and I primarily started using this stuff for duck carving, and I use it also to set eyes in a lot of cases. So I'm just gonna smooth that over with a knife, and poof, that line that would still read, and especially read through the paint, as Just Carve Rob will tell you. The paint stops there, and it gives you a definitive line. So here I'm bringing the eyes down a little bit. I'm going around them, being very careful not to touch those eyes. I did touch the right one with the diamond burr, but fortunately it doesn't look like I scratched it. If you do touch one of those glass eyes, you can go ahead and put a little bit of lacquer or fingernail polish, clear fingernail polish over the eye, and a lot of times that will hide what you did. So here I'm getting ready to do the cheekbones. I wanted kind of a swirl going down around there and then into the mouth, And this is just in the initial stages, as a lot of this gets rounded over, but I wanted to show you the process that I use to get there. So one little piece at a time as you work around. You can see I've done a little more work on those cheekbones. And now I've got the eyes out where I want them. And I'm going to highlight everything with the wood burner to see if it is doing what I want it to do. Hey, at this point, give a shout out to a guy. I was looking at his channel the other day, Cleve's Backyard Woodworking. I just went back and looked, and it's 5 days ago, and I noticed that he was just short of 1,000 subscribers, which is the first criteria for monetization. And I was looking at some of his stuff, and he's obviously watching the channel, making comments. So I told him I'd give him a shout out and help him get over to 1,000. But now I just went back and looked, and I'm too late. I can't help you, Cleve. You already went over 1,000, so congratulations. But the second criteria in the monetization for this, and once again, you're not going to get rich doing this for sure, unless you've got 8 million viewers every day, is the watch hours, and you need to get at the 4,000 watch hour mark over, I don't know, I think it's the last year. And it doesn't seem like much, but then again, it does seem like a lot. And so go over and check out what Cleve is doing in the Cleve's Backyard Woodworking, just like Just Carve Rob, the same thing. And all that. Jordy helped us out and got our stuff going. And if as time goes by, we just keep adding stuff to the community. And help people out that are taking the time to go ahead and do these videos. So if you like them, obviously subscribe, watch them, etc., yada yada. Enough said about that. So I'm going back over this. This is not going to get finished in this one. I'm going to actually do the full painting video on this and complete it. But it's getting very close to being finished. And if you've been watching a lot of my videos now, you'll notice that I do not show a lot of the finish work. And the reason for that is it's, to me, it's boring. I don't want to watch someone sand something for 30 minutes, although a lot of things require sanding for 30 minutes. So I'm kind of liking the looks of that. Got a little cleavage going there, and we're getting near the end of this video. You see the Swarovski crystals? I wish I could say that. In the background there. They're not bad. This little package was $6. I was at Hobby Lobby the other day and picked up some paintbrushes and that sort of stuff, and I saw these and I thought, oh, that'd be kind of neat to go on her dirndl. After I'm painting. So that's going to get green in the background, kind of a green flower, and then I'll put a crystal in the front, and you'll see how that comes out. And while I was there, I was going to do a yarn setup on hair. I haven't done a lot of puppetry or hair, that sort of thing, and I found this ball that was gray, and I for some reason I gravitated to the gray versus there, and I opened this up, and it was just a little quilting bat in the middle and sewn into a ball. So we opened that up, and it's a square actually, and I can shape, sculpt, and bring out the inner hairdresser in me when I put this together. I haven't decided exactly how much forehead we're going to have. We're going to have a widow's peak, but I really do like the way that this is turning out, and you'll get to see that in the second video. I think that'll go on after she's painted, and then I got to try to figure out how to keep the glue from showing through. But that's how the lady gnome is coming along. Troll, gnome, you make up your mind on what we're going to call that thing. So there you have it. Don't give up. Here's this morning the wind was cranking, and here's my father-in-law's Giuseppe whirligig that he sent my wife for Christmas, and we just got it put up the other day. And if you've looked at the whirligig things, you go back and subscribe. The best part is the sound. This guy has an awesome sound, and he's out there rocking in the wind. And if you're interested, I'll show you how that guy was built. So like, subscribe, comment, and check out everybody down below. Thanks. This has been Ben with Studio on the Lake.